And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo Woo, and this is the monthly 47's one card divinations. There is a bit of a change this month, but that's mostly going to be in the different videos where the higher you are on Patreon, the more cards you get in your reading. Trying something out, trying to do a bit more for the patrons, who are wonderful people, very good looking people, very generous people, very kind people, and are the people who are mostly responsible for keeping the train, the Tommy Kelly train, going. If you want to get in on these card readings, the monthly 47's, divinations, then have a look at the different levels over on Patreon and see if it's for you. The other thing that's changing this time is that in previous divinations, what I've always tried to do is not necessarily lie or be disingenuous, but maybe put the most positive spin on the cards that are coming out rather than trying to give someone bad news or a bad day or whatever, or dash some hopes. And while I always kind of would include the negative side of thing, I probably did slant a bit too much on the sweetness element of it. So I'm not going to do that anymore. And I've warned the patrons in advance that if you're asking a question, be prepared to get a no answer or the answer you don't want. And that's not to say that I'm immediately going to go to the negative, but yeah, just trying to be a bit more, I suppose, honest in what I see. And yeah, so we'll see how this goes. These are the 1 card ones. There will also be 3 card ones, 5 card ones, and 9 card ones. That's the plan. George, I'm in the process of moving. Is there anything that I should be aware of at my new residence? The witch. I suppose that brings ideas of that out. Yeah, when you get there, check the basement, check the attic for any signs of witchcraft. But what I think it's more suggesting is that you have a look at, when you go there, to make sure that you acknowledge any local spirits or any local magic or anything that has making itself known. And don't just go in there and kind of feel that you're the master of the residence immediately. Check out what's there previously. Is there anyone about? Is there any of the genius loci? Is there any local spirits? Any kind of atmosphere, any magic, any weird? And acknowledge that and try to get to know that rather than ignoring it. Ultimately, it could be your best friend and could become very useful. But unless you treat it right and, go in and introduce yourself and stuff like that. Try to be friends with it rather than make an enemy. J. Eric. September is my birthday month. Happy birthday. Anything I should consider for my 45th year? Yes, it goes quick. If it's anything like mine. Okay. The lovers. I don't know if you're in a relationship, Eric, but if it is, then it's, be aware of your relationship and that the lovers is kind of when the lust, say, is over. And when it becomes this, a bond, a relationship that's more than just the initial kind of "I fancy you" type stuff. So be aware of that in your relationship. If it's not a relationship, then that it's pointing to your life, and you're saying that I'm 45. To not kind of become complacent and think that the lust is over for you, that the fun, that your best days are behind physically, or any kind of. Sin. Just don't feel old. There's plenty there, and you could very easily get into a rut, but you could very easily get into your stride and just feel comfortable and relax a bit and stuff into it. So, yeah, or it could be both. Look at your relationships and look at your life from the lens of the lovers. Sarah, where should I focus my energy this month? You'll have to excuse me. It's like very, very warm here today. The studio is an iron box. And so I am sweating. First 2 weeks of September is the real summer in Ireland. As soon as the kids go back to school, that's when the sun comes out. What should I focus my energy on this month, Sarah asks. The mother. Interesting. Focus on being a mother. And all that entails, the mother, of course, in the thing, is an expectant mother and is... I'm kind of skirting around knowledge that I know about you, Sarah, obviously. But yeah, so just kind of, become the mother, get into that mode, start thinking that, and start feeling it and start really embodying it and be aware of it, the good and the bad, that, maybe you can't do exactly what a pregnant woman can't do what they used to do for the time being, and to look after yourself, but also, there's the glow that comes with it, there's the new life, all of these things. But yeah, just be the embodiment of the mother. Very cool. Alex, is there anything I need to be aware of this coming month? The gatekeeper. So in a sense, there will be something like an opportunity, or you'll be presented with something, getting in somewhere that was previously closed to you. That could be like a club, that could be a job, it could be something. Usually I think there's a kind of a sense, and certainly with this one with the gatekeeper, that it's something you already know of that you just haven't access to. Whereas like a road opener or something like that would be, getting access to something you've completely never even heard of, never even dreamt of, never even thought about. It's an avenue into new thing. Gatekeeper seems more about getting you into a door that was once closed for you. So have a look out for certain things, certain doors, certain things that weren't conducive previously to you being involved in, and see if they're a bit more malleable this time, or if it's a bit more, if you're able to get in there. If you're looking at if you're on a waiting list, maybe ring them and go, is there a free spot or something, something like that. If you're waiting for a free spot to open up at, I don't know, your local library, a gym, a sports team, whatever, now would be the time to really focus on that. Craig, this month, which archetypical servitor should I focus on for better telepathic connection with the invisibles? The moon. So this is saying that what you need to work on is being able to discern between the actual voices and actual communication and nonsense and illusion and stuff that isn't that. It's like cutting away the static, cutting away the babble, cutting away all the other things, and actually trying to find a way that makes whatever your process is, your method is, that a bit more foolproof, a bit more on target, improve your accuracy with it. And that's what you should focus on. That's what should I focus on for better telepathic? Yeah, rather than getting all the messages, it's trying to find a way to sort out which are the good messages, which are the bad messages, which are true, which are false. Work on that part of the method. His Vincenus, how can I be of service to others this month? I feel this is your card, though I haven't shuffled much. The Protector. That came up for you before, didn't it? The Protector. So be either of service to others, so it's not about personal protection. Be the protector. Be the person that people can rely on. Keep people safe all around you. I think you know this. So yeah, that's the role. Be the protector. Make sure everyone's safe. Make sure everyone's getting done. Make sure that everything is, that you're taking the lead in certain things, and that you're allowing the people around you to do what has to be done. But be the protector, the big person in it. Max, how can I find my people? Okay, the protester, by being loud about it, and not by speaking up. It's like, in a sense, say you're having an argument with someone on Facebook, as is everyone's wont of an evening, that you could go, well, this is pointless kind of arguing with this person because they're never going to see it my way. But kind of, and this is kind of a sense of something like this, that there is a point in having that argument, for not necessarily that you're going to convince the person of who you're arguing with, but that other people can see who you are and see your point and see someone standing up for it. And it's not just necessarily just changing the person who you're arguing with, it's the ripples out of that. In the same way that, it can be bad that you can have an argument online and come off the bad way, and people who aren't involved in the argument also then have a new opinion of you or something like that. But so this is kind of saying, say what you believe, stand up for yourself, speak with your own voice, be vocal about it, and people will then be attracted to that thing, to that energy, to that kind of point of view, and they'll see who you are, rather than, I suppose, writing a blog post or a manifesto or whatever it is. Just be yourself, and be honest about yourself, and be vocal about yourself. Coco, Should I take a break, or is this path I'm on leading somewhere? Okay, the carnal. Is it leading somewhere? So you'd have the idea with the carnal. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like to get for, because it would feel like it's not really answering the question, because you would like kind of. Well, I suppose the answer is what does it feel like? But that's more the kind of the fear or the sphere of the seer. Which is sexier to you? There, that's your answer. Which is a sexier thing to do? Take a break or continue on? Which, you know, that's literally the answer. Which do you feel is a sexier way to go forward? In not necessarily in that it leads to sex, but that kind of feeling of which is it? Ooh, you know, which makes me feel kind of, yeah, let's do this. That's the answer. And only you can answer that. I couldn't possibly know. Although I suspect it's staying on the path. Breaks are never sexy, are they? Are they really? Coronium. What is the best approach to improve, heal, or if necessary, neutralize the current situation that concerns me? The media. So this would be to handle the chatter, the gossip, the story, the narrative that's going on, rather than necessarily the events. So if there's someone bad mouthing you or something like that, is rather than trying to get them to stop doing it, rather than trying to prove the wrong without, well, not necessarily, yeah, but to talk to the people who he said it to, sort it out with them rather than trying to sort it out with the person who's doing the thing. It's not trying to solve or heal the initial thing that's the problem. It's what the ripples out, the gossip, the talk, the narrative, all of that is a better thing to approach and try to fix and be aware of than fixing the thing. Because, I mean, the original thing might be unfixable. It might be unfixable at the moment, might be unhealable. But you can heal or you can work on your involvement in it, how you're coming off, how you're presenting yourself. Like if someone is attacking you or if there's some bad behavior or there's something going on, you can be impeccable within it. You know, you can choose to do that, whereas you might necessarily be able to choose to control, or you can't control the situation, but you can control what you're doing, who you are, how you're approaching it, how you're handling it, what your narrative is, what your story is, all of those things. Grayson, what do I need to be aware of this month? The moon. So, illusions, half-truths, all of that, but also, like, the moon is hope. It's the light of the darkness. It's that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes that light, of course, turns out to be the sun reflecting off a large rock, and it's not its own. That's because that's there where the seat is, I suppose. But there is the thing with the moon, that it is the light in the tunnel. It is the guide, you know, the thing that can guide you home through the night. Whether it's real or not, it's kind of inconsequential. That it's the hope that got you through, even if it's dashed at the end. You still got through. You still got through it. You still managed to get there. So be aware of hope, that there is hope, and concentrate on the hope rather than whether it's true or not. It's still, whether it's the sun shining on a big rock in the sky, it's still a light that can get you home. Dougie, we're pondering moving. A house has come up, the rent is more, and we don't know if this is a viable or sensible move. Can you shed any light on this? The gatekeeper. Do it, man! I'm not giving you property advice or life coaching advice or anything. We need to get the gatekeeper who has a big shiny key. What does that tell you? Shiva. What do I need to know to rekindle my marriage's intimacy? The contemplator. What do you need to know? What you need to do is to not think about it. It's to put it aside for the minute. That it kind of, in a sense, it's the boiled kettle, or the watch kettle never boils. The boiled kettle never watches. And it's that sense of to put something aside so that something else is allowed to work on it. In the very kind of very mundane sense of it, it's like if you can't remember the name of an actor or TV show or whatever it is, that you can be thinking, through the alphabet all the time, it's getting nowhere. And sometimes you just have to distract your mind with something else so that you can, the other part of your subconscious can work it out. And then, an hour later, it just comes out, Jimmy Hoffa, whatever it is. So it's a kind of sense that it's not give up on it. It's certainly not give up on it, and it's not try to, but it's just to go, right, distract myself with something else to allow that to kind of look after itself, or to allow whatever's needs to bubble up for me to understand that a bit better, or to whatever. Just, stop prodding it, stop looking at it, like stop waiting for the magic to happen. Just let it be for the minute. Again, emphasize, it's not giving up, it's not saying forget about it, in the sense of, oh, you'll never get about it. It's just leave it alone. Leave it alone for a while and see what happens. Abraxas. What should I be aware of in my life right now? The chest. So you have to ask yourself, or do I need to remove some things from my life, to become a bit more chaste, a bit more kind of, not firmness, a bit more, be a bit stricter with yourself, a bit more discipline and stuff like that, or, cut back and thing. Or am I doing too much of that? Am I in a kind of situation where I'm the chaste for too long? Like, even though the chaste, if you look at the image, she's looking at a light. She's looking at something, like there's a focus, there's a reason for doing it. And I assume in that case it's some sort of Jesus thing or whatever, if you're going to strictly look at the photo. But there's something, are you getting that thing? If you are being the chaste. And if you're not being the chaste currently, then to get the shiny thing probably involves you being the chaste for a while. So only you know if you're being the chaste or if you're not being the chaste. But whatever it is, stop doing it or do it. What's the one thing I should keep in mind this month? The sun. Wear sunblock if you're going outside. Be aware of power, beware of illumination, beware of things coming into the light. Be aware of where your energy source comes from. The mitochondrion is the energy house, or the power of the cell, whatever that is. But the sun is the power of the solar system we're in. Be aware of where your power lies. Be aware of what is the center of that. What is the thing that gives life to all else? What is the thing that illuminates all else? So just be aware of your center of power, but also what that is illuminating and what that is empowering. And if it was something bad, I think in a way it'd be more the kind of domain of the planet. That'd be kind of, what are you attracting? What are you surrounding yourself with? But this is, what is it revealing? What is being revealed by your power? By the sun? What's coming into light? Cat. What should I expect this month? The seer. So you shouldn't expect anything, you should feel, you should sense it. Joking aside though, you can expect to know something or to feel something before it happens. You might be aware of something underlying that doesn't manifest for a while, say, but to trust that. Meet someone, seem wonderful, getting an icky feeling underneath it, that's the feeling to really look at. Something comes up, and you kind of go, I'm not getting a great sense of this, but it seems to be playing out okay. Still keep in mind that, have a sense of feeling things, of relying on your intuition, your gut feelings, all of those things. And it's more to be aware of it, I think, rather than necessarily just act on it. But to have another thing that's informing you and keeping you in a better picture of that's going on around you. So that's it for the 1-card divinations. I have a couple of 3-card divinations. There were meant to be 2-card divinations, but I'm going to do them as 3 cards. And then I have some 5 cards and some 9 cards. They were originally going to be 3 cards and 5 cards, but I've been messing with this 9-card spread. I'm really, really enjoying it. And so because there's not a tremendous amount of the later patrons who give questions before the deadline, I have the time to kind of give everyone an extra card or extra couple of cards. So I'm looking forward to doing that. If you would then in this, just go over to the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Tommy Kelly. That's Tommy with an IE. And you can see all of the stuff there. Now, I want to stress, and something that I have said previously, on the Patreon is it's not like a premium membership, or it's something where you sign up and you get stuff. That's not the way to look at it. It's basically, I'm asking you to help support me doing all the stuff I do, and in return, as a thanks, you get occasional things like card readings, but you get to see behind the scenes stuff, but mostly and there's loads of downloads and all that kind of stuff. There is loads of stuff you do get, but it's to think that you're just helping me out. That's the idea of it, rather than thinking you're joining something like a Rune Soup membership or something like that. Other ways you can support me is by just sending me a donation via PayPal. You can buy my comics, my books, the music. You can download some of the subliminal audios, that's very hard to say, that I've done. You can, buy a deck, do anything. So all of the stuff is in the show description if you want to help me out. A great thing to do is leave a review, positive review, obviously, on either the podcast, the book, the deck, whatever it is that you have enjoyed. And so yeah, good people of the internet, check out the other videos that are coming up, and I'll talk to you all soon. May your best days be ahead, and be well.